Good morning. It is Stitch Along Friday, the last Stitch Along Friday of the year. Can you believe it? I can't. I can't believe that I've continued to be here every week. I can't believe I can wake up in the morning. Welcome to all of you who have managed to find their way here this morning between Christmas and New Year. It's not a time that everyone has extra time to spend with me. But I do know that there are many people who have just started to relax after all of the Christmas rush and all of the things that are happening at Christmas time. So I'm hoping that a few of you will drop by and say hello. It'll be nice to see you, and also to remind you that I wish you a very merry, merry, merry Christmas season. And it isn't over yet. I mean, Christmas lasts a whole week, lucky for us, because we always find ourselves at Christmas time anyway, where we're not doing anything much. We're just, celebrating, being with people, and enjoying the love that surrounds us, even if we don't have all of our family with us. Hello, Liz. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Usually you're very busy. I know that you work as well. Good to see you. And you're sitting at lunch crocheting. How awesome. That's something that I haven't done for such a long time. And Donna, you're here as well. How nice to see you also. I noticed that, the people that show up have been showing up all year. So it's really nice to be here with the familiar faces. Marty is here, awesome, and Margaret's here. I'm not sure if Petra or Lisa will show up today. We officially closed for the week during the holidays, like we usually do. Although I think Lisa's been on Facebook once in a while, so we may still see her popping up. And I'm going to be going to see Petra at the end of this week. Hopefully I'll see her on Sunday to have a little visit with her in Vancouver, because she's not that far away. She's just time-wise very far away. It takes about 3.5 hours to get there, just like Lisa. Only I have to take a ferry, and those ferries are getting more and more expensive. It's unbelievable. I keep saying things are unbelievable, but they're not. I just have sticker shock. And it looks like a whole bunch more people are here. Hello, welcome to all of you. Margaret, you said you're having a happy New Year. Okay, Happy New Year to you too. And it sounds like you're having a good holiday as well. Diane, wonderful to see you here. Good morning. Linda Morrison. Yeah, I think we all had some kind of a holiday. Good morning. Raining in Missouri. And Marty says, give Petra a hug from me. Of course. I will absolutely give you her your greetings, Marty. And I will be getting lots of hugs. So one of them was bound to be for you, from you. So it is, let's see, today it is Friday, but it's kind of hard to remember what day it is when it's Christmas time. Every day feels a little bit celebratory. In fact, yesterday I thought, today's Sunday, right? Yesterday was Saturday, because it feels like a weekend when Christmas rolls around. On Christmas Day, I went to see my cousins, which was very nice. They had a lovely spread. They opened up a few presents, and I even got one. And luckily, I was able to bring them some hostess presents as well, so I didn't feel like I was on the outs. But I was invited just to be with the family, because they know that I don't have Richard's not here, and my family is spread apart. So they are my family, but they're cousins, so it was really nice to have the feeling of family, that's for sure. And then yesterday I went to see my brother, who is doesn't live very far away from here, but he has a fairly not isolated. He's an introvert. Let's put it that way. So he and his wife like to keep themselves to themselves. So I see them once in a while, but not too often. And yesterday he was in fine form, and when he gets in a social mood, he's really quite funny. So I had quite a nice lunch with them as well. So 2 lunches, my favorite things, rather than dinners, because I get so tired by the end of the day. I'd much prefer to be in my own cozy home by 6 o'clock, which I was. Let's see. Jean Morrison, hello from rainy Atlanta. Oh, I'm sorry, it's raining. Hello, making a quick stop. Hello, Tammy. As you're going by. Good to see you too. A little short shopping trip. I'm planning on going shopping too in a few minutes, because I got a gift certificate to my favorite bookstore in Sydney from Fred and his partner Barb. And so I am thrilled. They weren't open yesterday. I would have been I was in front of their door and I saw that they weren't open. So I'm looking forward to going to see my favorite. It's called Tanner's. It's right on the corner of 4th Street and Beacon Avenue. And I'm rushing down there to see what kind of books I can buy. And actually, what I like to do with a gift certificate, because they often give me one, is I like to buy books that have illustrations in them, because I have a Kindle and that's how I read. But, you know, like a good cookbook, an art book, or something that has beautiful illustrations is going to be so fun to pick out. And of course, there are maybe other books that are in the other bookstores, but I always go to that one because it is my very favorite bookstore in general. I just like supporting them. So I'm looking forward to seeing what treasures I can find. Good morning, Susan. Nice to see you. Instead of watching later, I am also excited that you're here, Susan, instead of watching later. It's really nice to have you here live. If there's any questions or any comments that I can make for you with you on at the same time, that'd be wonderful. Lisa, you're here. Happy Christmas. Hope everyone has a lovely, say hello. Oh, you're going off to visit with Bob's family. Oh, that's nice. So you're heading down island, probably to Cowichan or Duncan or somewhere in that neighborhood, right, Lisa? Have a wonderful trip. Please take care, because apparently it might be snowing somewhere in the passes, and I know you have to go over the hump, as you call it, which is a mountain on the other side, on this side of Port Alberni, where you live. And Margaret says, I went for a little retail therapy this morning. Isn't that funny how we do that? There's some serotonin happening in my brain when I look forward to it. I think that's the one that you look forward to it. And all sorts of neurotransmitters make me light up as well. When I go shopping, it's not like the actual buy that I like to do. I just like to see things out there. I like to see their decoration. I think that's what it is. It's like an artist date where you look to see what is pretty out there. And I think that's why I like a book with illustrations. It just gives me new ideas and enthusiasm for, I was hoping to start painting this coming year, do a little bit of painting. I have not practiced at all. I have no idea what I could do. And in fact, I'm kind of afraid of it, because once I've ever done it, I get very angry with myself for creating something that I don't like. But I'm determined to stick it out and see if I can just have some fun with it instead. Oh, you're meeting them in Coombs. Oh, you aren't driving far. Excellent. Good. That's not far at all. Please wish Bob a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from me, okay? Good. Margaret says we had a white Christmas. Oh, you've got snow. Very rare. I'd say so. Marty says bookstore is the best. Absolutely. I love the smell of old and new books. Old books are fine with me. They smell good too. In fact, they have a smell that they don't have anymore now that they're done with different inks and different papers. So anyway, all of that is just personal. Those are, my comments are not necessarily only about stitching, as you can tell. But I did want to mention a couple of things to do with Victoria Sampler, because, that's what this is for. This is about stitching mainly. And even though today is not exactly a day where I would show you all sorts of models, I have 3 things that I want to show you. So I said 2 things. 3 things I want to show you that I didn't show you last time. These are the little cottages, and I do want you to have a quick peek at these for next year. These are little houses, and perhaps not for those of you who have been here week after week. I've shown these houses before, and I've got them all stuck in a row like this. So they kind of look like little row houses. The little houses that's what they're called, and they are on our website, and they are adorable to hang on your tree. They're completely designed all the way around, so you can have 4-sided ornaments for your tree, and they're really fun to put together. They're put together the same way as the gingerbread village, so I just want you to remember those. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you, which is very, very timely, I think I'll move my keyboard in a little bit so I can get closer to the camera, is New Year's Day. I think I call it Happy New Year's. Yep, absolutely. So this is a sampler that is about New Year's. As you can tell, at the top, there's wonderful fireworks going off in the sky. And by the way, that is the way it looks from here. If I look across to Sydney, from my old place, it looked like this. There's there's the ocean, of course, because we always do the fireworks over the water, so they're safe. And then they explode, and I would be able to see them from my dining room window when I was designing this. And then, of course, you'll see all sorts of other little bands, specialty stitches, Scotch stitches, etc. And look at I love this. My brother and I and my dad were in bands. I was singing, Fred playing the guitar and the bass, and my dad playing the piano. So having a band on stage was something that I had when I was younger quite a bit. And we would all go dancing together at the Dutch Club sometimes, or some other place. And then, of course, there's Father Time just heading out the door. This is absolutely January 1st is coming. So that's where the little baby New Year comes from. And then there's a few more little bands. And there's the dancers in the same group, or in the same hall where the musicians were playing. Because there's a lot of dancing that goes on at New Year's, probably because they're all drinking as well, drinking the New Year in, and more little bands of stitches, specialty stitches. And then I kind of did a fake large city instead of the usual, which is, small villages. I did, it isn't New York, but it's something similar. It's again, fireworks, etc. And it says Happy New Year. And as you can tell, the bottom looks a little bit like the bottom of all of the other holidays. I think I mentioned to you, there's Christmas Day, which I showed you last week. And then there's Trick or Treat and Happy Easter and Celebrate. So they're all the same shape. And this is the last one. I've shown you all of them this year. They're called the holiday samplers, and I absolutely love them. Excuse me. And finally, this is the third thing, and I don't want to forget this, because this is something that still we haven't sold all the kits yet, but boy, are we close now. I had to look at the inventory of the kits. I can't believe it, even though we've had terrible trouble getting in all of our materials, so through Canada Post. And so when Canada Post went back to work, we're still waiting for the materials to come in. But I'm sure they'll be in very, very soon. We can start sending these out. But Bling Tree 2 is almost sold out. That kit, not the pattern. I think the printed pattern we still have a few of, for enough. But the kits are getting really down there. So I just wanted to remind you guys, I know you probably all already bought them, but people who are watching this as a replay, don't forget the Bling Tree, because it is so exciting that they're almost sold out, and then there will be no more kits made for the Bling Tree 2. Okay, so we do not make any more. We make our original amount now, and we are not making any more. That's kind of the pattern for the next little foreseeable future. So when I do another design, we will make a limited amount of kits, and when they're sold out, that's it. You can't have any more. So tell your friends and neighbors, because they're not going to be able to get the kit next year if they wait too long. So there we go. So Marty says, my New Year's resolution. Very good point. And it's so funny, Marty, because you have some of the same ideas I do for this stream. And I was going to ask you guys what your resolution was. So there you are already. You're just in my mind, always just ready to go. So you want to have stitch kits and leaflets that I've already bought, and limit buying new stuff. Absolutely. Well, I think that's wonderful, because, doing all of the stitching that you've already bought really makes you feel good too. You're not throwing anything away, you're not wasting anything, and you are enjoying what you bought to begin with. Lisa's got to run. Okay, Happy New Year. Bye. I don't think she heard me, but anyway. Lisa says, I love finishing all the little cottages. I must stitch and finish them. And she meant by the little cottages, the little houses. Yeah, absolutely. They are really cute when you see them. Let's see, who else? Nope, that's it for the comments. No problem. So now I got those things out of the way. Those were the 3 models I wanted to make sure that I included in today's little visit with you. And it is a little visit, because I have to say that one of the things that I've done is to make a resolution for next year. That I'm going to make my free patterns for sure for the stitch along, so I'm glad with that. But they're going to be a bit smaller, and I have decided on a theme thanks to all of you who wrote in when I asked, what do you like best? And I chose one of them, maybe two, because I'm combining them. But I was planning on, I thought, what are you doing? Because I was really thinking hard about what I could do or not do this coming year. And I do want to do some actual big projects, you know, making kits for you, and so that you can have a bigger project than just the free patterns. But I can't do everything. So the cottages took a little while for me to do every month. And so I thought, I'm going to make the free patterns a little smaller, not much, but just a little smaller, so that they don't take as much of my time. And that way my resolution is to make sure that I have enough time to make maybe 4 new patterns this coming year in 2025. So one in the spring, which will be at the end of the spring rather than the beginning of the spring. Or it could be that they don't all come out early on, because I haven't even started on any of them. So we're just going to get the bling tree out to begin with. Anyway, so that's my resolution, and I am looking forward to it. But with the free patterns, I wanted to see if I could make one of those rolls. It's called a pronk-roll, which is a Dutch word for I'm proud of this roll, of a very small but a narrow, long piece of linen, like 36 inches long, and then, you know, put a design a month on them, and they don't have to have anything to do with one another. They're just going to be somewhat they look a little bit so that they fit into the theme of this roll, okay? And you can roll it up at the end on a spool. I don't know if you've ever seen that. So I expect I will be putting up some guidance or whatever into a page so that I can show you a little bit what I had in mind. But you can also do those patterns, because they're going to be the small ones. You can do it in a grid, which I will give you a grid for. And you can also do them just one at a time as little ornaments. So there's a whole bunch of options for next year's Stitch Along free patterns, which will be fun. It is a rainy day of stitching in Louisiana. In Louisiana. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Finish projects I started. That is a good resolution, Pat. And finishing the projects are really, it really isn't that bad. I was talking to Suzanne, who's done a whole bunch of them at one time this December. And she said once she got going in the finishing part, she found that she was doing them more quickly as she went through them. It's when you have to bring everything out for one little piece and then you put everything back. So I think if you, like Lisa used to do this too, she would have like 3 different ornaments ready to be finished in a similar way. So she would do all of the cutouts of the mat board, and then she would do all of the gluing, so that you're doing the same action and you've got the glue out. You might as well do them for other ornaments as well at the same time, right? So you make a little factory making a day out of it, so that your day is about finishing and you're not spending a lot of time bringing out materials and that kind of thing for just for finishing. So, and then also you have to be very careful to be very careful. Like, you have to count and you have to be precise. And I found that a cutting mat from the quilt store or from your fabric store, those cutting mats and the cutting wheel, etc., they really help you be precise with your finishing. So I'm not one to do that so much. I kind of go, oh, this is good enough. This is my way. But I have found, and I've seen Lisa do this too with finishing, take your time, number one, and do everything thoroughly and carefully. And then you end up with beautiful things. Otherwise, you may end up with something that you're not as proud of. And you've spent all that time stitching it, right? So you want to be sure that you make very, very pretty things when you're starting to finish. So well done. Let's see. We have organized. Okay, I have to go back because there's a bunch of things. Marty says, I've got to play with the toys I already have. Exactly. Daisy, hello. Happy New Year to you. Thank you. Excited over the news. Oh, good. Margaret says, we've organized a finishing challenge at our Stitching Guild. What a great idea. Now, there's a good idea. We all have so many UFOs that we're going to do our best to finish them up. And for every UFO we finish, we put our name in the hat. At the end of the year, we will draw for a prize. Awesome. So it's not finishing like making them into something. You mean finishing projects. I think that's great. And sometimes your UFOs, my UFOs, are not that big, not that much left to stitch, right? You're just near the end, and then you go, oh, I don't know, I want something different, and then you leave it. So absolutely a good idea to do that, and reward yourself when you have finished a project. Well done. Deanne says, excited for the new stitch-alongs. Oh, how nice. I've already mentioned that. You're right. Finishing projects I started. That's now what I mean. I thought you meant finishing... oh, never mind. Finishing and completing a project is different. Dorothy, you're never late. You're never late. Just remember that. If you drop in, you're always welcome. There's no late. Christmas got in the way. Good heavens. No, the Canadian Postal Strike is gone now. They are actually back to work until March, they said. But your Bling Tree kit, anybody's Bling Tree kit, cannot be sent out yet, even though all the leaflets have gone out now, the single leaflets that people have bought. But we couldn't send out the kits because the Canadian Postal Strike was announced after one of, I think 3 suppliers were sending us their supplies so we could make the kits. And 2 of them have arrived, 1 has not yet arrived. So as soon as it arrives, Lisa plans on completing them and mailing them out as soon as she has them complete. Because it is like every kit only requires 1 or 2 more things in it. So we're kind of hoping that those things will arrive at her house very soon. I know what you mean. Having a hard time choosing colors, Liz, I understand that completely. So the new designs, the new stitch along, by the way, can all be done in 1 color if you want to, or 1 over dye. That is a possibility. And I think that that's something that, if you really have a hard time choosing colors, do that. Just have fun with it. The new designs are not going to be too detailed. There's going to be a feeling of, it's a little bit antique. The designs are a lot of cross stitch and then absolutely some details, but not very much details. So you can always add those in different colors. Oh, you're welcome, Wanda, and I'm really glad to see you here too. Happy New Year to you. Thank you, Diane. Creativity is absolutely there in every one of us. I don't have any kind of special creativity that you don't have also. I just have practiced a lot. And when I first started designing, I was thinking about it. I just really wanted it. So, I spent the time, and just like you, Liz, I found it really hard to choose colors, really hard. Like I didn't have any training in any of this. I just started. Didn't think about the fact that it might go wrong. Looked at a lot of postcards and pictures to see what color really is that shade. What color is the shadow underneath the tree? And I found out so many things just by looking and absorbing and, of course, working at it. So you wouldn't have as much trouble with colors if you did a lot of choosing. So once you start choosing, you get better and better at it, believe it or not. But you have to have that interest in that. And sometimes when people are cross-stitching, they're not wanting to work their heads too much. They just want to stitch. So if that's the case, with this new Stitch Along series, you're going to have fun. If you only want to use 1 or even 2 colors, that's your choice. And then you don't have to choose nearly as much as you thought you would. Yes, you'll have to stitch on the gingerbread cupcakes. Good idea. Thank you, Susan. I'm really glad that you think it's exciting. It is true. I saw some of the temperature charts that were available. I've been doing a fair bit of research over the holidays, and I was looking at temperature charts, and I thought, oh, that's so boring, though. You pick out a color for each of the seasons, and then, or not just the seasons, for the warmth, for the temperature of the day. Then you take the temperature. I think you have to be kind of accurate, or you have to look it up. And then you stitch, 3 or 5 stitches for that day. And I'm thinking, I don't know whether I would like to do that. And if I don't want to do it, I certainly wouldn't want to make it as a stitch along for you guys. It's fun, maybe for some people, but I find it a little bit too limiting. And I kind of like the idea of a small amount of work on this stitch along so that you have something at the end of it. but you don't have to work too hard every month, for that matter, to keep up. And I think even the cottages were, people are at the end of it, they weren't actually finishing all the cottages. That people want to do other things, not just these stitch-alongs. So I'm making it doable for everyone. Dorothy says, yes, picking colors is not my strong point, says Diane. That would be awesome. Only a few colors. Yeah, exactly. Dorothy says, I have my granddaughter, the 12 Days of Christmas ornaments. Oh, you gave them to her. They were received with love and glee. I am so happy for you. I know how much fun it is to watch children, or even grown-up children, open up their presents. Actually, when I was at my cousin's for Christmas Day, one of the cousins has a daughter who has, she has some difficulties, let's put it that way. And so she's always included, absolutely no problem. But she has certain needs, and some of those needs are very particular. And her mom spent a long time, I think, trying to fulfill her, not just her needs, but also her wishes. And she really succeeded this year. It was so fun to see this girl's open face, and she was just so happy. Oh, Mom, how did you find this? So it was lovely. It's almost like, it really was like Santa Claus. So I'm glad to hear that. So anybody have any news to tell over their Christmas holidays? Did their family come? Did you finish any stitching over Christmas? Did you have turkey? One thing, not all of those things, just one thing. Tell me some things so that we can all share in your holidays. And of course, we call them holidays. If you're retired, it's not a holiday anymore. It just feels a little bit holiday-y. And I don't know about you, but I did manage to, enjoy my little trees. I have two of them, this one and the other one. And this one is visible from the rest of the apartment too. So I'm very happy that I got a little bit of lights in my house. It's also really fun to go to a shopping mall and just walk around, which I did last week. And to see other people's decorations. And yesterday I was getting my my first massage of the year, because I haven't been going, and it was wonderful. And then when I left, it was dark, and I usually don't drive at night. And she lives, the massage lady does it in her home, and she lives in an area that people are really like competing with lights. I had to stop the car and just go, wow. There were cul-de-sac after cul-de-sac of lights lit up everywhere. I haven't seen anything quite that rich in lights, even when I went out driving around looking for them with my kids. So that was a real eye-opener. So, we do all sorts of things that we can do around Christmas. And my favorite thing to do is to go to Tanner's bookstore today after this Stitch Along Friday and go and find myself a beautiful book with my gift certificate from my brother. Got back to a UFO, which felt good. Not quite sure what that means. Oh, to an unfinished object, I guess, right? You got back to one, which felt good. Okay, that's what you did over Christmas. Thank you. I know I asked the question. And Dorothy says, I have my granddaughter. Oh, yes, you've already said that, so that was not new. Okay, so that's what Susan did. Thank you so much for your answer. And let's see, there was another question. Oh, yes. And what, if any, do you have kind of idea for the new year? Because my idea was to make your stitch along after all. I was thinking of not doing it, just so you know, but I couldn't resist. And so that's my resolution, is to make sure that you guys have a little stitch along that we can all admire and ooh and ah. So let's see. Oh, I got a lot of answers now. My son and his wife hosted our family Christmas. It was a beautiful time. How lovely. Nice when you don't have to do all the work. And I mean, you've done the work before, right? Now it's their turn. I like that. Donna says, the oldest grandson was home from university. How wonderful, Donna. You must have enjoyed him so much, because I know you get along with him really well. Really nice to hear. Kathy, better late than never. That's a good one. And hello, Kathy. I'm really glad you're here. I was just asking, what is your New Year's resolution, if you have any? And then your answer was better late than never, which I agree with. It's a great resolution. I'm so glad that you came in. That's really nice. Happy New Year, my dear, and wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Margaret says, sitting back and relaxing and enjoying the peacefulness of the holidays. Absolutely. Miss the family gatherings, but times do change as we age. You are right, and this is what I've come to as well. It used to be in my life, when I was young, of course, it was in my family of origin, and we did all the Dutch things, and we did Sinterklaas and all that. And I have fond memories of all the Christmases with my family. And then, of course, I had my own family with regard to having two daughters who were so excited at Christmas. So I enjoyed that time too, which you may have had also, Margaret, where you're seeing another generation looking at all of this stuff and going, whoa, I love this. And then there's the time when they were supposed to have children. Mine never did. So it has kind of petered out for me. But I have to also say that I make my own fun, just like you. I'm a bit of an introvert. That's why I like being behind the scenes doing designing. It's my favorite. And sitting back and relaxing and enjoying peacefulness is one of the big benefits of being this age. So I'm really glad that you've chosen that way, and feeling grateful for that solitude, and that you have a resourcefulness around it rather than feeling sorry. And I think there are many of us who have that. As we age, we're not always together with family. They have their own busy lives, as I remember my mom telling me about me. I know you can't come up very, very often, Taya, because you have your busy lives. And I remember hearing her say that, and she didn't really realize that I came up every month for years with my children, every single month, to visit her 2.5 hours away. We would drive up month after month after month, even in the snowstorm. So she had it good. I know she absolutely looked forward to every single visit of ours. Let's see, who else is here? Oh, my New Year's resolution is trying to get my knees and back so they don't hurt all the time. That probably means new knees. Oh, well, that is a resolution for sure. That's a significant decision. I have found also that if I do my exercise, my physio, etc., that has helped. But if your knees are no longer functioning, then yeah, that's a possibility. And if you can do that, that'll be great, Kathy. I get it. Let's see. Loretta says, Happy New Year, everyone. Hello. And Kathy, seeing the excitement in my 3-year-old grandson's face as he realized that those gifts were for him was special. Absolutely. Yeah, as I said earlier, I don't have any grandchildren, so to watch little babies still gives me the same kind of excitement, maybe even less than yours, but definitely I love to see their little faces. And Anita says, I watched the Polar Express with my mom at her care facility. Oh, she would have loved you to be sitting beside her just peacefully. How great. And I love that show. That's a great movie. Magali, hola, good to see you. Buen Natale and Feliz Navidad. That's all I can say. And Anita says, with my mom. Yes, I got that. And Cheryl, she's here, just dropped in. Merry Christmas to you too, and Happy New Year. Okay, don't forget this little guy. This kit will be going out probably sometime mid-January. We're hoping all the materials will be in very soon. And there's only a few of these left. So if you're thinking about getting, or you know someone who says, yeah, I really was going to get that, don't let them be disappointed, because it looks like they're going to be sold out in the next few weeks, or in the next week maybe. So that's hard to predict, obviously, but they are really going now, and we are getting to the close end of being sold out of these limited kits, okay? They will not be made into kits again. All right, everyone. Oh, so I said all the things I wanted to say. One of the things I'm really grateful for this year, and that I hope will be a part of my life next year, is all of you. Thank you so much for being part of the Victoria Sampler family. Those of you who come here week after week saying hello and sharing your lives with me, thank you again. Always appreciate you, as you know. And if I don't stop now, I might end up crying. So I'm not doing that, not before New Year's. I'll do that at New Year's. Can the bling tree be stitched on Ada? Yes, it can. Absolutely. This is all cross stitch. The tree is full cross stitch. There is no specialty stitches at all in this. So there you go. And then you just put on all the stuff, and that doesn't require it to be on linen. So yes, it can be. Angel card, thank you, Marty. If I didn't have you to remind me, how could I how could I go on? Margaret says all the best in the new year. Angel card coming up, and I am letting the angel guide me here. So there is a message from beyond for everyone. Whoa, this is really good. Your successes can be truly amazing now. And don't forget, that's for you guys. So if you make a resolution for the new year, 2025, this is the result. Your successes can be truly amazing now. And the angels are telling you this. So do not ignore them. This is good news. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful 2025 celebration. And I hope that you and your families and your friends have a wonderful time as well, and that we'll see you again in the new year with the new stitching along with me pattern, okay, the very first one, and I will then share with you what the theme is. Lots of love. Have a great weekend also. Bye bye, everyone. Bye. Thanks for coming.